Jacob, and this is week 4 of the Cryptohopper cryptocurrency trading bot review. So I'll start out by saying it's been a really, exciting last 24 hours, really interesting. Definitely required being nimble to not lose a lot of money. And I'll say this is that a cryptocurrency trading bot is really a tool, and you have to know that you're using it in the right environment. So if you were using it in the altcoin environment in these last few days as you're watching Bitcoin rally and the altcoin market tank, I kind of equate that to like using a blow dryer in the bathtub. Not a good idea. Gonna get hurt. So anyway, as soon as I saw that happening, I've recognized that pattern now enough to know. Sell altcoins, preserve precious Bitcoin Satoshi. So that's what I did. And I'll go through some of the cool new features in Cryptohopper this week and what I'm testing out now in this environment where Bitcoin dominance is just proving itself again. Um, and show you what I'm going to test for the next little period of time. And you can try it out for yourself as well. But until there's really a lot of safety in the altcoin space, certainly using like just the TA or anything like that seems like a bad idea. Using the signals might still be a good option. But those have been down this week anyway, so yeah, so that wasn't really an option. All right, so let me show you some of the new stuff. You'll see that now you can have multiple subscriptions here. So I went ahead and tested that out. And so I created um, a separate hopper that I was testing first for the GDAX USD hopper, and it was just like a free bunny trial account. But now I made that actually my main Kangaroo subscription, and the Bittrex hopper is my secondary account. But this is cool. So you can toggle now between as many accounts as you like. You can name them whatever you'd like. And one cool option would be that if you were any sort of like small time fund manager or larger, or you're just managing things for your friends or family or whatever for some clients, you could create a Hopper account for each one of them and run an API, and you could have different settings. So that's kind of a cool possibility. And again, you can just toggle back and forth between those. So if I go over to my Bittrex Hopper, it will show you, um, you know, it will show you just Bitcoin in there. It's showing a loss. That's because I just converted some Bitcoin to Litecoin to send a little bit more over to GDAX, where I'm holding most of my Bitcoin right now. And I'm going to maybe test out some Litecoin and Ethereum Hopper trades on GDAX as well against the dollar instead of having on Bittrex where it's going to be pegged against Bitcoin. Anyway, I think that that'll be an interesting test. So anyway, just to show you, nothing happening over on this side. This is a bunny trial account, and then when I go back to my GDAX USD hopper now, that is the main Kangaroo account. All right. So that is one update. Next up, and you've got this new hopper, your hoppers area. And scrolling down the left side of the page here, the stats area has a few updates, but I'll skip over that for now. And oh, this one is cool. The account advisor, I think, is new, or at least I found it recently, and I haven't reported on it in any other video. So this is cool. It gives you some quick attention points. Red, something to fix immediately. Yellow, just something to check out, and green, things that you've done successfully. So if you see in the yellow, I haven't used the backtesting tool yet. That's true. My Bittrex hopper is disabled. Yes, that's true. I don't want to enable that in this altcoin market. And no active config pools, and the GDAX USD hopper is not subscribed to any signals. There currently aren't any signals available for GDAX, so we'll leave that off for now. Anyway, you can click this check now to refresh after you fix things and see how you're doing. Oh, here's one. So here's a few updates once I refresh it. GDAX hopper is not making profit. Change your configuration and tweak your hopper. I will do that in a bit here, and I'll show you what I'm up to. It says that I could also add more coins to my hopper to give it more targets. Maybe, maybe not. We're gonna check that out with some Litecoin. And all right, so the percentage for the hopper is set at 25%. I really only wanted, for me, that's not a problem. I really only want to give it 4 positions to trade at a time right now and test that out. And again, it's not subscribed to any signals. Anyway, but that is a cool feature. It gives you a really quick thing here of issues to address right away, not making profit, obviously in the red, things to check out in yellow, and things that are a go, green. All right, and so then the other update from this week had to do with the stop loss feature. And you can check updates at any time down here under manual target and go down to messages. All right, so messages. Let me get my thing out of the way here in a sec. All right, so this was a cool feature. Oh, okay, down. All right, so we've changed the trailing stop loss feature. If you have been using this, please update your config. So make sure you do that if you haven't already. And here is the change. If you go over to configuration, and this is one of the coolest features, I think, in addition to coupling with the signals, which has got to be one of your best options for consistent gains, because it's based on somebody actually signaling and having a track record. Again, the signals were down this week, and they're working on correcting that. But here's the thing with the stop loss. It added in an arm trailing stop loss. So what that means is, right here, if you click on arm trailing stop loss, enter the percentage you want this trailing stop loss to start trailing. So for example, start the trailing at 3%, and then you have your trailing stop loss percentage, and so that tells you when to begin it. So you could say that you want a trailing stop loss at 1.5, but you don't want it to start until you get to 10%, right? So that would mean that the stop loss wouldn't start until you were 10% in profit, and then at that point, it could keep going. It might drop down from there, but anytime that it drops now down to 1.5, below the highest amount after 10%, then it's going to be a sell trigger. You can have your normal stop loss trigger here if it were to drop down substantially, and we'll use something like 90 in this case because I just don't want to sell with a normal stop loss for this current configuration. And then you have your normal profit, percentage profit, in this case 5%. And so this is more or less the default setting. Oh, this is cool too, is when you want to add more hoppers, there are now templates. So you go to click on your hoppers, and you can add as many as you want, and then you can just set them up with templates. So you just click like new here. You can see them at a glance. Are they running or not? This one is running, but I have buys turned off, so it's basically not. So yeah, you just choose your it's the intro video for this. We'll say do not show again. So you choose your exchange or sort by currency, and so they're creating these different templates now that will automatically set you up on the exchange that you want and the default configuration for the strategy you're going for. So that's kind of cool. I like that. All right, so we'll go back to config. I'll show you what I'm doing currently. This is just a random one, so I want to go back to my GDAX one. Oh, it actually set it up as an unnamed one, so no. We'll get out of that for now. And we'll delete that in a moment. But here's what I'm using right now with this crazy market where Bitcoin goes up to over 11,000, then drops down to 9,000. I made a sweet trade on that this morning, by the way. I sold a Bitcoin at 10, bought it right back at 9, like, within 5 minutes. So that was like a 0.12 positive trade. That was great. But here's what I've got. So this is the GDAX USD Hopper. It's live. I'm having it just trade Bitcoin to test it out to begin with. I'm using multiple TA factors. I'm giving a 5% profit. No arbitrage. That doesn't really apply here on GDAX. I've got the stop loss set at 90, but I'm using the trailing stop loss, keeping both of those at 1.5. And the rest of these settings, keeping them as they are, but I'm saying I can have obviously 100 for the max percentage open positions per coin because I'm trading just one at this point, Bitcoin. And the percentage of the buy amount 25%. I've given it 1,000 to play with, which when I just moved some Bitcoin over to GDAX, I just sold some to USD, and then I'm allowing it to trade with that. And I set the minimum amount around the same at 250. So here's what it's been doing. If we go to the trade history, it's been buying some Bitcoin and selling some Bitcoin. And here's what it's looked like so far. So, all right. So it started by a few didn't hit the 5%, but they went up to 1.5 and then or beyond 1.5 and then dropped down. So this one sold at 0.48, 0.30. Those are both really, if you factor in the fee, a loss. It needs to be over 0.5 to incorporate GDAX's fee to be at profit. So those are profitable. And then where are these other ones? 30, why is it jumping? There were a couple better ones in here too. Oh, here we go. Let's do the result. Yeah, so it sold a couple that basically it looks like I guess they didn't get up to. Oh, here's what would have happened for this. It would have gone over 5%, but then in the time before the hopper ran, gone up and then dropped down that 1.5%, and so it sold as soon as the hopper saw that. So some positive ones, and then the ones it's holding currently are at a loss because it bought them up while it was still up around 10.8, 10.7, and now it's just holding those at a loss until Bitcoin makes it back up there again. So I may give the hopper a little bit more to play with, but so far it hasn't beat. And this is just 12 hours of testing this, but so far it hasn't beat the rate of return of just holding Bitcoin in my account. So it's just the growth of Bitcoin. So that's really what I want to find out. Is can I find a setting here with 1,000 or 2,000 sold out that can actually just give me a little cash flow while the rest of my Bitcoin is being held or I do manual trades with it. So if it can beat the average rate of return of this, then it could be. And kind of as it's approaching 10,000, I think a lot of us are having that question of, well, do I start taking profits or what? This may be a way to take little consistent amounts of profit each month and have the hopper pay for itself and continue on. So that's what I'm testing this week. We'll see. It kind of keeps changing each week with the market, but testing these different things out. Anything else to show you from or updates from this that I've seen that have been interesting? I think not. I think the stats here, we could see what that's looking like real quick. But otherwise, I'm just waiting for the indicators to come back and for the altcoin market to look like a place to try some test again. And then I think I'll keep that hopper going, but I'm going to limit it just to signals. I really haven't had any consistent success over on that side with using the technical analysis indicators. Other users have, though. It's been nice to hear from some of you that have used simple strategies with just Bollinger Bands or simple things like that. Um, yeah. So continue to post comments if you're finding something that's really great. Post it in the forum or post it here on this channel. If we can find something that works well consistently with technical analysis. But again, there's not going to be really anything where that fits. You're going to still have to pay attention. And one of the features I suggested to the team to add is something for an automatic panic option. Um, and basically to sell all of your positions if there's some read on the overall altcoin market that shows that altcoins are dropping and Bitcoin is skyrocketing, that you have that enabled so it's an automatic panic, so that even if you're not there, it could sell you out. That could be a useful feature. But otherwise, it looks like if you're going to play in the altcoin market right now, you want to be there for it. It's just so dynamic with Bitcoin that you really can't mess around with it. So here's the stats page. Obviously, assets overall have gone up. But gosh, look at this. That's crazy. These are from these dips today in Bitcoin, how quickly it went down and up. All right, I hope that's been useful for you this week. Leave comments with or questions, anything that you're using, anything you're wondering about with this hopper, and I'll be back next week. Tell you how it's doing. Again, I'm not trying to oversell in this series, but just just kind of build some community around other users that are trying this out and show you how it's going. Thanks for those of you that have clicked my affiliate link and purchased. That's been nice to help support the effort. And again, if you want to test this out, if you want to get started and have a look at this, the link is below. You can click on that and check it out. All right, bye for now.